We are glad that you chose to tune into the Kuza Award Gold winner TV station Maisha Television. What's coming up is a comprehensive look at the events and happenings in the country and beyond. We have a lot lined up and of course our education segment ahead too. Without much ado, coming up.
Honorable Speaker, I worked hard to never let them down, and in those 15 years they have given me their unwavering support in both good and bad times. They prayed for me in celebration and in mourning, and we have seen joy and tragedy.
Like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, that Mr. Speaker, there is a time for everything, and Mr. Speaker, time has come.
Ninaomba President wetu William Samoei Ruto pamoja na Moses Masika Wetangula kama ndiye baba wa Waluya waweze kukumbuka mbunge wetu, maana sisi tuko kama wachane na yatima.
Tunaomba Mheshimiwa Ruto, President wetu Rais, tunamuomba kweli. Mheshimiwa Ruto alikuwa rafiki yake, alijua tu chenye kilimpeleka upande mwingine.
Siritamu Resort Bungoma inapatikana in Bungoma County along Kandui Malaba Highway, around 3 kilometers from Kandui to our place.
Welcome, my name is Rida Chebet Karing. President William Ruto on Wednesday had talks with Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who is in the country for a 2-day official visit. He said Kenya is committed to playing a leading collaborative role at the global level in solving the crisis in Ukraine. Ruto observed that the two countries have tremendous opportunities in areas of the blue economy. He added that public sector will play a facilitative role in ensuring that they tap into these opportunities for economic development and creation of jobs. Millicent Luamba is on that story.
Nacional para hacer a nuestras sociedades.
Where we know Spain has a lot of experience.
President William Ruto on Wednesday held talks with Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who is in the country for a 2-day official visit.
We are very strong believers that the future is that of cooperation, working together and building a common market, not just as the East Africa community, but also as the continent of Africa, using the infrastructure of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, that Kenya is a signatory. And again, Spain can leverage on the advantage you get out of Kenya being the champion, not just for the East Africa community, but the Africa Continental Free Trade.
He said Kenya is committed to playing a leading collaborative role at the global level in solving the crisis in Ukraine.
Spain and Kenya hold the same position on matters to do with Ukraine.
President Ruto said that the issues around Ukraine should be resolved in the earliest time possible because in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change, serious challenges have occurred. He said the least needed is war in between.
And we believe that the internationally recognized instruments that calls for the respect of boundaries of countries is the bare minimum that any nation should live by. And it is our position as Kenya and as East Africa that the issues around Ukraine should be resolved in the earliest time possible, because in the midst of the COVID pandemic and the climate change serious challenges we have, the least we need is a war in between.
Ruto observed that the two countries have tremendous opportunities in areas of the blue economy. He added that public sector will play a facilitative role in ensuring we tap into these opportunities for economic development and creation of jobs.
As a region, especially the East African Community region, we are all systems go in ensuring that we build this region both as a common market and also progressing towards a federation. We are looking forward to learning experiences from Spain and the European Union. You have walked this journey ahead of us, and we will look forward to learning from you how to consolidate our market and how to take it to the level of a federation. Because we are very strong believers that the future is that of cooperation, working together and building a common market, not just as the East Africa community, but also as the continent of Africa, using the infrastructure of Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Prime Minister Sanchez extended an invitation to host President Ruto in Spain so the two countries can continue to strengthen their cooperation in many fields.
Kenya is open for business. We have created a bigger private-public sector engagement enterprise that will work between the public sector in Kenya, the private sector in Kenya, and also your private sector to leverage on opportunities that can help our two countries grow. We have tremendous opportunity in the areas of the blue economy, where we know Spain has a lot of experience. We will open those opportunities for our private sector, your private sector, and the public sector is going to play a facilitative role in ensuring that we tap into these opportunities for both economic development, creation of jobs, and adding value to the enormous resources that we have in our oceans and in our rivers.
Early this week, Spain's ambassador to Kenya, Cristina Diaz Fernandez Gil, said the country will continue to strengthen bilateral economic ties with Kenya under the new administration. Around 1,000 Spanish people live in Kenya working as businessmen, international officers, aid workers, religious people, embassy staff and their families. Millicent Luamba, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Thank you, Luamba. The National Assembly has approved 24 President William Ruto's Cabinet Secretary nominees, paving way for the appointment to the top executive officers in charge of developing and implementing policy and government programs. The House rejected the National Assembly Committee on Appointments move to declare Tourism and Wildlife CS nominee Penina Malonza as unsuitable for the role. The committee, which was chaired by Speaker Moses Wetangula, had declared Ms. Malonza unsuitable, saying the former Kitui Deputy Governor did not show a grasp of the issues in the docket. The National Assembly has approved all the 24 cabinet nominees unveiled by President William Ruto on September 27, 2022.
That the House rejects the appointment of the Honorable Penina Malonza OGW as the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it.
The MPs approved the nominees following a report by the Committee on Appointments, which approved 21 CSs, rejecting that of Penina Malonza. The MPs, however, voted against the rejection of Malonza, paving way for amendment of the report through a motion to consider her nomination. The motion was moved by Kitui Woman Representative Irene Kasalu.
I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Article 152, 2 of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Act of 2011 that this House approved. This House approves the appointment of the Hon. Penina Malonza OGW as a Cabinet Secretary for the Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage.
Kasalu, while moving the motion, described Malonza as bold and a person of unquestionable integrity. She further underscored Malonza's experience in public service, including her stint as the Deputy Governor of Kitui County. The motion was seconded by Endebess Member of Parliament Dr. Robert Pukose.
Let's give this lady an opportunity to be able to deliver to this country as a Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Wildlife and National Heritage.
This House approves the appointment of the Honorable Penina Malonza OGW as the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
As I go to the executive, Mr. Speaker, arm of government.
The powerful committee, chaired by Speaker Moses Masika Wetangula, knocked out the former Kitui Deputy Governor on account of her grasp of topical, administrative and technical issues around the tourism docket.
To make either decision to reject over 60% of these names or give President Ruto his skunk. Let us not interfere with it. We give it to him. He has asked for it. Let us give him his cabinet. We know he's going to run the government from State House. These are not people who can run a government. Apart from a few individuals who are not even more than 8, the rest are incompetent, unqualified, have integrity issues, are people who cannot deliver this country from where it is to the next level that we want the country to move in.
But angry lawmakers voted against the committee recommendation, citing the flimsy grounds the 21-member committee based their verdict.
You have negatived the rejection of Penina Malonza. This means Penina Malonza is now in purgatory. She's neither in heaven nor in hell.
The MPs also overruled the minority, which addressed issues on the integrity and academic backgrounds of public service nominee Aisha Jumwa and her agriculture counterpart and ex-Meru Senator Mithika Linturi.
Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say no? The ayes have it.
The House also approved Attorney General nominee Justin Muturi and Secretary to the Cabinet nominee Mercy Wanjau. The latest developments now paves way for the Cabinet members to be sworn into office as per the Constitution. The nominees will assume office by swearing or affirming faithfulness to the people and the Republic of Kenya before the President. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Rita Chebet Kering.
The ayes have it.
Well, moving on, Garissa Township Member of Parliament Aden Duale has resigned as MP. The former majority leader during the 12th Parliament made his exit speech in Parliament on Wednesday afternoon, minutes after the National Assembly approved the entire list of cabinet nominees. He bade his colleagues farewell as he heads to the cabinet. Alice Wahome of Kandara also followed suit and resigned as MP. The cabinet nominee defends and Wahome is the cabinet nominee for water, sanitation and irrigation. The Garissa Township and Kandara seats will be declared vacant ahead of by-elections to fill their seat. Sharon Chipchumba with more.
Honorable Speaker, as I come towards the end of this farewell note,
Garissa Town Member of Parliament Aden Duale, Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, and Kandara Member of Parliament Alice Wahome have bid farewell to the House as they prepare to join President William Ruto's cabinet.
Honorable Speaker, I worked hard to never let them down, and in those 15 years, they have given me their unwavering support in both good and bad times. They prayed for me in celebration and in mourning. And we have seen joy and tragedy. We have laughed together and we cried together. I am forever indebted to them, Mr. Speaker.
I know the time has come. Like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, that, Mr. Speaker, there is a time for everything. And, Mr. Speaker, time has come. The 10 years that the people of Elgeyo Marakwet entrusted me to serve in this house, Mr. Speaker, has come to an end.
The MP who was slated to serve his fourth term in the House stated that he has officially written to Speaker Moses Wetangula, tendering his resignation from the constituency seat. He urged the legislators to protect the Constituency Development Fund, pointing out that the program has changed lives.
Don't disappear from the constituency. You are elected to help solve problems. Please do your job. As I go to the executive, Mr. Speaker, arm of government, I promise to work with members here. If any one of you wants my help, please do not hesitate to visit my office. I will make time for you. You will not wait, unless, of course, if you become too frequent and make it difficult for me to do my job.
God will guide you and will give you the wisdom to serve our nation in the executive with the determination, with the zeal and energy that you served with in this house as leader of majority, and more so as a member of parliament for Garissa Township, and earlier as member of parliament for Dujis.
If there's one thing we all agree on, even those of us who are on the opposite side with him previously, Adan Duale was a man whom, when you gave a task, he gave his all to it. And many people would refer to him as a workaholic. He did his research well, and he was ever prepared on the floor of this house.
Murkomen, on his part, urged the members of the parliament to be vigilant when passing laws.
Mr. Speaker, countless times in this house, we sat together, all of us from both sides of the political divide, and Mr. Speaker, crossed the floor to interact and persuade each other to make sure that when it is national interest, there will be no, Mr. Speaker, Azimio, and there will be no Kenya Kwanza. There will be only one Kenya that will be able to produce results to protect the citizens of this republic. And when the time comes for discussing that formula again, or any other matter that is national in nature, I look forward to a leadership in this chamber that will cross the floor to negotiate and consult about, Mr. Speaker, leadership in this house.
Wahome equally paid tribute to her colleagues and people of Kandara for allowing her serve in positions of leadership.
Parliament must continue to be supported. Members of Parliament must continue to be facilitated to be able to execute their mandate, their representative mandate. I therefore want to acknowledge my colleagues both in minority and majority, and that this particular time I have stayed in Parliament, I have enjoyed cordial relationship with most of members in the 12th Parliament. And I look forward, Mr. Speaker, to be able to work. I look forward for support.
Oh, my Honorable Alice Wahome, I want to thank you. You gave me a job as a CEO in this country. I never took it for granted. We worked in Kandara, and I know you're going to do a fantastic job in the Ministry of Water. And we will pray for you all. You need wisdom, and we pray that God will guide you.
In Bungoma, candidates for Bungoma Senate seat have hit the ground, running ahead of the December 8th by-election. Bungoma residents will head back to ballot to elect their senator after the Senate was declared vacant following Moses Wetangula's election as the National Assembly Speaker.
Tumengojea kuona kijana akuwe senator wa hii county, na hiyo wakati imefika, na kama si sasa ni sasa hivi. Tunataka kutangaza hapa kwamba kama vijana wa baba wa Roma, mimi kama kijana spana namba 11 wa baba wa Roma, na vijana wote wa Bungoma, tumeweka nguvu yetu nyuma ya Mheshimiwa David Wafula Wakoli.
The race to succeed Wetangula had already gained momentum as those eyeing the seat had started crisscrossing the country to endear themselves to electorates.
All over. I had nothing, I had no godfather, and this time round, I'm telling you I'm going to become a victor in the next coming general elections. Na sababu, tunataka kusukuma Bungoma yetu mbele. We don't want thieving, we don't want handball type of goal. We just want to say our speaker, wewe kaa Nairobi, toka kwa hii vitu. Chebukati kaa kando. Sasa wacha vyama sisi wenyewe tukuje tukutane. We don't want anything that can come out as a conspiracy to destroy next general elections.
Tuko tayari kutembea sako kwa bako, aste kwa usanjari wa kutoa uongozi wa kiti cha useneta wa kaunti ya Bungoma tarehe 8 mwezi wa 12 mwaka 2022.
Tunataka Fort Kenya ikiwa on the ground. Wapinzani wetu, kaeni tayari. We are ready for you as we did.
Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC also said the by-elections for 5 wards across the country to be held on the same day. Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Sharon Chepchumba.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja on Wednesday afternoon unveiled a 10-member chief executive member team and 6 advisors who will work in his administration. Among those unveiled by Governor Sakaja are veteran Charles Kerich, who will head the Finance and Economic Affairs docket. While reading out the list, the governor noted that all the dockets had been renamed.
First nominee for Finance and Economic Affairs is Mr. Charles Kerich. The second nominee for Innovation and the Digital Economy is Mr. Michael Gumo. The third nominee for Talent, Skills Development and Care is Mr. Brian Mulama. For Mobility and Works, because we want to get Nairobi moving, move Nairobi, we have Mr. Patrick Mbogo. Built Environment and Urban Planning, we have Mr. Stephen Gadwita Mwangi. For the boroughs, administration and personnel, I think as you all know, we are restructuring our level of devolution for service delivery better, to make it better to the people of Nairobi. So for boroughs, administration and personnel, we have Mr. Ibrahim Auma Nyangoya. For business and hustler opportunities, we have Ms. Rosemary Kariuki. That also is a new docket that is aimed at making Nairobi the financial and business hub of this continent and to find opportunities for our hustlers and business. So that as trade, it has markets, matters of hawkers will all be led by Ms. Rosemary Kariuki. 2 sectors that we've just introduced, that is boroughs, administration and personnel, of course together with business and hustler opportunities, as I said repeatedly during the campaigns, will report directly to the Deputy Governor, Mr. Njoroge Mushiri. The other dockets are Green Nairobi. This is what we used to call environment, water, energy and all of that. The outcome area is a Green Nairobi. Nairobi used to be known as the Green City Under the Sun, and we want to bring it back. We have Ms. Maureen Jerry. For health, which is a very important area as well, health, wellness and nutrition, we have Dr. Anastasia Muteria Nyalita. And number 10, of course, you all know our focus on the people and the people of Nairobi actively participating in their governance directly through their area resident associations, management of stakeholders. The 10th docket is inclusivity, public participation and customer service. On that one we have Ms. Susan Silantoe to affirm the position of County Secretary to Dr. Jerius Musumba. Other members of my team who will be working closely with include my Chief of Staff, Mr. David Njoroge Ndungu. It sounds popular. I'll mobilize. My advisor on urban and regional planning is Mr. John Mwangi Maina. John Mwangi Maina has been a CEC in this area in the county of Nyeri, and he will help us with our issues of geospatial planning, so that we can have all our locations, our plots, our titles on the GIS platform, working very closely with Ardhi Sasa and the Ministry of Lands in the national government. Economic Affairs Advisor is Mr. Larry Wambua. Mr. Larry Wambua has been a CEC and he's done a great job in Nairobi County Government. We will keep him together with the team for him to give us a bird's eye view on economic affairs and finance. Remember, as Nairobi County, we're looking at going to the markets, floating infrastructure bond, and different ways of getting private securities to support public initiatives. Our legal advisor is Mr. Elias Mutuma. On health, in the health docket, we also have an advisor who has been at FCDO working with donor working groups on matters of health. We have Dr. Samora Otieno. You know him? Yes, he's a good guy. Our political advisor is Mr. William Dungu Fazul. This is also a success story from Mta in Nairobi. And this indeed a cabinet level appointments.
And a few weeks after the High Court upheld a 67-year jail term imposed on Sirisia MP John Luke over 313 million national serious and board case, his constituents want President William Ruto to intervene in the matter. The residents argue that should their MP be sentenced to 67 years imprisonment, they will significantly suffer. The residents appealed to government through Ruto to help free Luke and give him more time to implement his promises.
Tafadhali tunaomba mbunge wetu akuje nyumbani tufanye maendeleo. Ombi langu ni kwamba ninaomba president wetu William Samoei Ruto pamoja na Moses Masika Wetangula kama ndiye baba wa Waluya waweze kukumbuka mbunge wetu, maana sisi tuko kama wachane na yatima. Polisi ninawaomba ya kwamba mtukumbuke, maana tuko na shida.
Tunaomba Mheshimiwa Ruto, president wetu rais, tunamuomba kweli. Mheshimiwa Luke alikuwa rafiki yake, alijua tu chenye kilimpeleka upande mwingine, lakini sisi watu wa Sirisia tulipigia Mheshimiwa rais wetu William Ruto kura zote 100%. Tunakupenda Mheshimiwa Ruto, kweli tutolee mtu. Sisi hatuna mtu mwingine.
Right, time for a short commercial break, but coming up,
we are requesting our president to declare this a national disaster so that we can address it with the kind of seriousness it deserves.
Getting correct content from TV has never been easier for many viewers. But with Maisha TV, we make it simple and accessible to access information. Education and entertainment at a button press on your remote control. And with our multimedia cool integration, you will never suffer again with low-level broadcasts around. We are professionally designed to work well on your TV screen. So now, let's get it on. Just choose it, watch it, and love it. Our viewers, see a better tomorrow. Our viewers value education. Our viewers dream big. Maisha Television, broadcasting to the people who see a better tomorrow. Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
Classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you why the No.
The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime Talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameita kuwapa uhuru watoto wao na ndiposa
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information.
By all available means our territory.
Parliament must be careful.
Maisha Prime News, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Trusted, unbiased, authoritative. The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Take away the noise.
We are here to inform and educate you on all that is happening around you.
The fury. Hello and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. The fighting voices. The distortions. The color and the flashy effects. But most of all, you can take away the lights. The misrepresentation that seeks to pull us apart, and then you can finally find out what is actually happening. And when you find that, then you will find Maisha Prime News, trusted, unbiased, authoritative.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Maisha Prime News. I'm Rita Chebet Karing. An estimated 2.5 million herds of livestock is said to have been lost as a result of the ongoing prolonged drought in the country. Livestock Principal Secretary Harry Kimutai says the government is looking for more markets to export livestock in order to reduce huge losses in the affected areas. The PS, who was speaking in Mombasa during the launch of livestock and dairy farmers production catalogs, said livestock farmers have been dealt a big blow through the loss of their livestock for the last 4 seasons. Stephen Lubanga with more.
Bouts of drought continue to ravage different counties in the country. This has resulted to death of livestock across the country. Livestock Principal Secretary Harry Kimutai now says the government is looking for more markets to export livestock in order to reduce huge losses in the affected areas.
We estimate to be about 2.5 million livestock that has been lost, but the rest, I think, they are not in a very stable condition. Their body weight has really emaciated because of lack of pasture and also because of the movement of animals to long or far places to look for pasture and water. So you find we have animals, but their body condition, their body weight is not very good, that it can, they can be able to dispose of. If they are disposing of, again, they don't make or they don't fetch the correct value for their animals. So it's really a big challenge, but with now such kind of interventions where we are able to get markets.
The PS, who was speaking in Mombasa during the launch of livestock and dairy farmers production catalogs, said livestock farmers have been dealt with a big blow through the loss of their livestock for the last 4 seasons.
And we are encouraging the regions that have good rainfall, especially the central and North Rift, where they're producing enough forage for their dairy cows. They also need to produce more so that they're able to sell to the pastoralists to sustain their beef animals.
The move is said to caution the farmers from more losses. The government has offered intervention through the offtake program at Kenya Meat Commission, as well as looking for market to export livestock to other countries.
The government is already providing other interventions like the offtake program through the Kenya Meat Commission, and we're also encouraging our pastoralists to sell their livestock. We've partnered with the other developing other countries like the Gulf states, Oman, for example. They are now off-taking our animals. We are now selling live animals to Oman. So that's reducing the number of animals that we have in the country, in the sense that most of them are now struggling to feed. Our farmers are now struggling to feed these animals. So if we get a good market like Oman, then that's a good sign that we're able to sell.
The PS said plans are underway for the country to invest in the climate-smart agriculture and livestock production as a last solution. In the ongoing 4 days dairy farmers feeding manual program training in Mombasa is expected to come out with recommendations that will address the challenges of drought-affected areas.
2, we've also realized that if we don't invest in climate-smart agriculture and livestock production, it's going to be difficult. This symposium, therefore, is really critical for it, in the sense that we want to sensitize our farmers on climate-smart livestock production systems. That also inform the decisions from this symposium, will also inform the government to take the right policies, the right decisions in regard to livestock production. One of it is we already have a product which is the Kenya Livestock Insurance product. This product, the government has invested in it, piloted in 14 counties, ASAL counties, but now through the support of development partners, we're going to roll out in the entire 24 ASAL counties. So these are some of the interventions that the government is going to provide, in the sense that the insurance program will support the pastoralists in the time when they need money to buy pasture for their animals, because a payout will be declared because of drought, and they will be able to get money to buy feeds for their animals.
Yuri Odongo, who is the Deputy Chief Party, said Kenya Crops and Dairy Market System Project KCDMS, the program under the banner of the Sustainable Food System Transformation Agenda, Making climate smart a livestock production rail is supposed to empower the farmers on livestock production.
And in dairy, we are focusing on issues of breeding, improved breeding. We are focusing on issues of animal nutrition, which is very important for the Animal Production Society of Kenya. And we're also focusing on issues of markets, of milk and milk products. And so we work in several counties in this country. And so we work in Kitui, Makueni, Taita Taveta on the east, and we work in all the western counties, and we work in Nyanza counties except Nyamira.
The livestock in 29 counties are facing shortage of pasture and water, and piloting intervention program is supposed to begin in 14 ASAL counties. Lubanga Steven, Maisha Prime News.
And leaders from the most affected regions by the drought have asked President William Ruto to declare the drought a national disaster, led by North Horr Member of Parliament Wario Ade and Moyale colleague Professor Guyo Wako. They say that the long drought has now caused many students to drop out of school to find food and water for their livestock. They say thousands of livestock have already died and fear that if the situation remains as it is, then the residents may also die in future.
For the school programs, we want the government to look into the possibility of food relief into the schools with immediate effect, because this one, in the next about 30-something days, chini ya siku 40, those children will not be able to sit the examination. In as much as we will take that examination to them in helicopters and in other ways, to whom are we taking that examination if they are not able to sit? The schools are closing down, the enrollment is going down, and people are not able to even enjoy that possibility. Without an education, then the entire region is in darkness.
In order to salvage this situation, we really need interventions in terms of water tracking for the communities and their livestock, supporting critical breeding stock by providing them with animal feeds. We need cash transfers, food aid, school feeding programs, supplements for the malnourished children and the elderly, so that we're able to salvage the population which is under severe situation.
We are requesting our president to declare this a national disaster so that we can address it with the kind of seriousness it deserves. Kwa hivyo ninaomba kwamba kama Wakenya kweli tuna shida nyingi za uchumi na kila mtu anaumia, lakini kuna wale ambao wanaumia kuliko wengine. Kwa hivyo naomba tuungane ili tuweze kuokoa janga hili watu wetu kutoka kwa.
Right, now let's shift gears to western part of the country. The Union of Bishops in Busia County is complaining about the decline in security in the border town and its suburbs. This is due to cases of theft, especially in homes and commercial stores. They spoke during a meeting with Busia County Commissioner Sam Ojuang.
Watu wametulia kidogo, tena wamechipuka, wameanza tena kutembea around wakinyanyaza wafanyabiashara wa M-Pesa, tena kuwaibia pesa. Tumeongea na hata walinda usalama wetu na wamesema watafanya mikakati yote ya kuhakikisha kwamba wanatatua hilo swala.
Kuna wizi ambao unafanyika hapa Busia wa kimazingaumbwe. Kuna kikundi cha wamama ambao wameshajitokeza, wakikutana na wewe wakikusalimia kama umebeba pesa, mtu anachanganyikiwa, anajikuta ameenda Uganda na pesa imeenda. Kuna mama mmoja alitoa pesa akaenda kwa duka, kufika tu mama mmoja akamsalimia, alafu pesa ikapotea tu kimazingaumbwe. Hiyo ni wizi ingine ambayo imeingia kiwango kingine ambacho hakieleweki. Sijui hao watu wanatoka Uganda ama wanatoka Kongo ama ni wenyeji tu wa Busia hapa. Na polisi pia wakigundua watu kama hao, tafadhali wawashike.
Apart from kwamba sisi ongeza doria na kuhakikisha kwamba maofficers wetu both in plain and uniform waweze kushika doria katika sehemu hizo za town, pia tutafanya kikao na bank managers ili kama kuna ulegevu wowote upande wao, basi tutakuwa tunawasiliana vilivyo, because lazima tushikane
the managements of bank na staff wao na sisi wale tunalinda usalama na pamoja na wananchi, tuwe timu moja kupambana na wale ambao wanafikiria kuna wananchi wa kuibiwa.
Saa hizi kuna kilio cha kwamba hata chakula shuleni haipatikani. Kwa hivyo tunaomba ya kwamba serikali wakuje kwa kazi kabisa na wapate kuona ya kwamba watoto shuleni wasilazimishe tu watoto waende shuleni na kuna kitu watoto wanaenda kula shuleni.
Na hao wanaenda kutoka duka moja wanaenda kwa duka ingine, wanatoka duka moja wanaenda kwa duka ingine. Nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu walinda usalama wako pamoja nasi na wamesikia kilio chetu, na ninaamini ya kwamba watachukua hatua.
While moving on, the county government of Kitui has been urged to resolve the prevailing camel invasion in the area once and for all. A group of elders under the umbrella of Atumia Mawo Council of Elders comprising members from the Ukambani region and beyond called for an inter-crisis joint meeting between elders from Garissa and Kitui in order to resolve the issue before it turns into a tribal crisis.
As elders, we revealed what has been happening in places like Masalani, where there has been a conflict that has been arising from the grazing of camels in that area, and where the people have been killed when they resist the grazing of the camels in their region. And we have agreed that we are all Kenyans. The Somalis are Kenyans, the Kambas are Kenyans, but we have to coexist in a manner that respects the respect of each and every one of us. The Kambas feel offended because their people have been killed and the people are coming to graze on their farms. So we have said it is a time that the elders, respectable elders, because we are credible, respected, wise elders, and we believe the Somalis have also credible, respectable, wise elders, and therefore we have come up with a resolution that the elders from the Somali region come up, that we can meet and deliberate on the possible way of resolving this conflict that has been going on for quite a long time. We feel that the issue have not been sufficiently addressed. There is a lot of suffering because of shortage of food. The food deficit in this region is actually a crisis now. Very many families are going without food. Very many children are affected. We are saying both the county and the national government must now give it a top priority to make sure that there are no people that are going to lose life because of food. We need to see people being fed.
Now, 26th of October is many people's birthday. Among those who celebrate their birthdays on that day is former President Uhuru Kenyatta. We take a look at some of the Uhuru Kenyatta's funniest moments while still in power. Some of those moments are credited to the time when the Jubilee government ruled the country. There are moments filled with humor and a sense of satire. Let's have a look.
If it takes 3 people a whole day.
Have been born in a loyal family. But when we look at you, you seem to be down to earth and ordinary. How do you reconcile these two?
Unfortunately, you didn't have a museo like mine. Mine ulikuwa kali bwana. You know, you had to stand on your own 2 feet. You had to make your own life. I remember there was one particular stage, you know, when I think I was in standard, you know, it was the old days when it was standard 6, you know, through to 7 to do your CPE. I was in boarding. One evening, you know, the standard 7s decided now they were going to root us out. in the evening. Na tukaona vibaya sana, tulipigwa vibaya sana. So now when we headed back to the dormitories, my colleague said, how can we be beaten like this by these guys and your father is president of... So they put a lot of pressure on me. How can we be handled like this? Your father is president and these people are beating us like this. It's not possible. So they put pressure on me, they put pressure. Anyway, tukaenda kwa call box wakasema, you must tell them hawa watu lazima wapigwe. They cannot handle us and treat us in this manner. So I didn't want to let my colleagues down, so we went to the coin box. You know those days, you know, tulikuwa tunajua system ya kuiweka ndio unapiga free kidogo. Tukaifanya. Nikapiga Katundu simu. So I decided now I put on my mournful face. Then nachukua, it's about 9:30 at night. So I tell him, you know, we have really been mishandled, tumepigwa. Na mambo hapa, you know, I don't know why they're doing this to us. You know, we need help. These people are going to kill us. You know, we really need help. You know, I want to come home now because even I don't even know how I'm going to go back to that dormitory. After a while, I got tired. You know, I've complained, I've said my problems. And all I'm just hearing is this, so I decided to keep quiet. So akaniuliza, kuna kitu ingine? So I said, no. And he said, learn to fight your own battles. Kukulung. Now, here I am, outside the coin box. You know, my friends are standing there eagerly. So, you know, now I had to now put on a face that, you know, I've done something, you know. So I told them, you people don't worry. Action is going to happen immediately. Let us go back to the rooms and pass the word. Watu wanakuja leo jioni kuhandle wale watu huko. So luckily, anyway, it managed to panic the standard sevens. But in reality, there was nothing that was going to happen after that. So you learn to stand and you learn to fight on your own 2 feet. And that's what's made me who I am today.
You mean your parents were exactly like our parents?
I think in some cases they might have even been worse. Huh?
Mheshimiwa napendaga UB40. Karibu hapa sit. Karibu sana. Welcome to Church Live. Honestly, Mheshimiwa, ushawahi sota. Ukakaa hivi, yani sina pesa leo. Na umebeba pesa ya father.
Si ndio?
Hiyo ni hali ya dunia. Watu wanakuonaga, they think, okay, uchali aligrow State House. Ulikuwa na interact na wase wa mtaani. You know, you just go incognito, people don't know you, and you just interact with them.
All the time, because we were in high school.
Yeah.
In fact, I think some of my buddies are also around here somewhere.
Yeah.
We went to school with, used to hang out.
Yeah.
Kama kawaida.
Unajua
shida yangu ni jina. Lakini mimi ni mtu pia.
So watu walikuwa kujua mwevaa ngepa tu, yani watu wanasema mista kudance na wewe jamaa.
Nataka nikwambie kitu.
Haki.
Unajua chache.
Yes.
Isipokuwa wakati nilisimama kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Right.
99% of the people here would not have even known me if I was sitting in the background there. Na watu hawajui napatiwa yangu pale, mwingine yake, na tunaendelea.
Now, hizi picha msijawahi ziona ever in the history. These are exclusive only on Church Live. You want to see the pictures? All right, let's take a journey with the beautiful photos. A whole journey, I tell you. Sasa hii ni gun ulikuwa umenunuliwa.
Yes, ndio.
That's a gun.
Siku hizo nilikuwa nataka kuwa kopo.
All right. Na hapo ni home.
Hapo ni home.
Yeah, hapa ni State House. Imagine home ni State House. Na hapa ni wapi?
Hapo ni nyumbani
Gatundu. Mazuri hapa na miti. Na mbuyu hapo. Wazi. Kali sana. Mazee. Ndio wewe huyu. Bila mapengo. You know, it's a typical. Hapa ni wapi Baha? So this is your birthday. Ya ngapi?
I can't remember.
Na sasa father yako wapeleka Uhuru Park.
Si ndio, na tumekaa kule tumechill.
Of course, when he was the one. Yeah. This is your grandfather. All right. Viatu ndio hizo za plastic. Hey. Hey, my boys. That's in the US, and of course now the family life. And this is your
my daughter at baptism.
Yeah, all right.
That was our baptism.
All right. What is it, ladies, you want to say? All right. All right. She's just one. All right. Great. Amazing. And where's the madam? All right. And that's a beautiful wife. What's your wife's name?
Her name is Margaret. We call her Mark. She's here somewhere.
Hey, all right. Just wave to us. All right. Hey. All right. Thank you. Karibu sana. Sasa mlikutanaje? Did she know exactly who you are?
She knew who I was, but you know, nimemkimbiza miaka mingi bwana.
Finally nilifaulu. Na nakataa.
Alikuwa na jam, sijui shida yake ilikuwa nini.
Did you ever go somewhere people don't notice you and you don't identify yourself? Like for example, kushikwa na polisi.
Mimi sijashikwa na polisi, hiyo sitaki nikudanganye.
Yeah.
Sipokuwa tu ya speeding kidogo hivi.
Speeding, like that was abroad.
Hapa tu.
Hapa. Now, so simamisha, simama hapa. Wala wa speed gun wakaitisha driving license. Wakasoma jina ya kwanza ama ya pili. Zile critics wako wengi, sasa zile watu wa media wako hapo on your case. What gives you that extra strength to move on?
Nyinyi mnaona mzee wangu pia tu akiwa rais peke yake.
Yes.
Lakini hamjua mateso yeye ameenda.
Yeah. Alikuwa anakuchapa.
Mimi nisitaki nikudanganye, mimi sijachapwa. Bana mzee?
Yeah.
Madhe hiyo ni story nyingine.
Lakini madhe ndio alikuwa anakunyorosha.
Mzee alikuwa mtu calm sana.
Yes.
Ujiongeleshe, ukijitoa, wewe umejitoa.
So akija kwa nyumba alikuwa anasema, "Nimefika. Sasa badilisha channel." Ama ilikuwa tofauti akikam home. It was a bit different. Yeah.
He was like any other father. That I can assure you.
Yeah.
Even again, my sister is here somewhere.
Your sister, you came with
kama kuna mtu amechapwa na father ni yeye ndio anaweza kusema alifanya.
Yeye alishanuka mapema. Where she? Just wave. Hello, how are you? Yeah. Wow. Imagine ningekuwa neighbor huko. Sasa ningekuwa in-law. So, I would have loved to ask you some few questions. Ulikuwa unakatiwa aje? Because it's life. So wakati you had birthdays at State House, ulikuwa una invite neighbors?
Sasa
I saw you celebrating one birthday hapo.
By the way, you know that was the only one I ever celebrated in State House. You know we never lived there.
Yes.
There is this major assumption that we used to live and we grew up in State House.
Yes.
Sisi tuliishi Gatundu.
Yes.
Ndiko tuliishi.
Yeah.
All the way until my father passed away. That is when we actually came and started living in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And since he was no longer president, we could not live in State House. So I think you can understand that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeye alikuwa mzaeo wa ushago.
Yeah. Alikuwa tunaenda nyumbani
kabisa.
Great. What's your best music? What do you like listening to?
Mimi bado I'm stuck in a certain age huko. Mimi ni huko UB40, Bob Marley, Gregory Isaacs hapo.
My UB40.
Can I dance with her?
Hebu tuambie neno la mwisho tukienda Maisha. Just come. Hebu come. Sasa tunasimama. Ni sheng maze. Cheza tu hiyo ngoma ya nini alafu one last word. Atia dance. Watu wa reggae hakuna kudance, just swing. Alright. I'll see you. Alright. Alright. Mimi nakwambia hiyo itaonekana kwa TV by the way. Alright. Thank you very much. Suzy. Utashikwa sasa na polisi. Alright. A big hand to attention. Wazi. Karibu sana. Welcome again. Karibu.
Asante sana. God bless.
Right, folks, let's just take another quick commercial break. I'll be right back.
This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susan Masaba.
Walter Usolo Shem Milembo.
The voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized society through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV. Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
Classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you. Wait.
No. The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime Talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameenda kuwapa uhuru watoto wao na ndiposa.
And local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. The Maisha Television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your world of Maisha is getting an exciting makeover. We're giving your channel a dedicated touch to enhance your viewing experience. Finding what you want and loving it has never been this easy.
We build your capacity. The problem is leadership.
My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Welcome home to your dedicated channel, where you choose it, watch it, and love it. It's your season. Najivunia kuwa Mkenya. linajali matukio yanayojiri nchini Kenya na ulimwengu mzima. Natazama runinga ya Maisha ili nipate habari kamili. Naichagua, naitazama na ninaipenda. Maisha TV ni bora. Maisha TV, your entertainment TV. Getting correct content from TV has never been easier for many viewers. But with Maisha TV, we make it simple and accessible to access information. Education and entertainment at a button press on your remote control. And with our multimedia cool integration, you will never suffer again with low-level broadcasts around. We are professionally designed to work well on your TV screen. So now, let's get it on. Just choose it, watch it, and love it.